Hello everyone, I'm back with another video today. I do want to start out by saying that I just got off work and so I'm a little tired, but I really wanted to get this video recorded because I still have to edit and get everything ready for the actual video to be posted. So I want to get a jump start on that now. As the title says, this is my DCU Phase 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, you might want to watch that first. It'll be in the description below. So with Phase 2, I wanted to start doing the more classic DC titles, like our Trinity, but still continuing the IPs we started in Phase 1. This phase, unlike the first one, will have 4 theatrical films out of the 6 projects. 2 will be streaming projects. A big shift will be from going from mostly HBO Max projects to upstart this DCU to actual theatrical projects and films, as there's only one show in this phase. I do first want to quickly go over the titles in this phase before discussing them further. So let's run through these titles. The first film in this phase will be Batman, followed by Superman, and then Wonder Woman. Then our only show this phase, Arrows. And the last film in this phase, King of Atlantis. And then our last project will be an HBO Max original film and be called The League of Justice, acting as a prequel to the Phase 1 projects. Now that we know what titles we will be going over, let's jump into the video. So kicking off Phase 2 will be Batman. Most of the next phases I have planned start with a Batman project of some type. This film will obviously focus on Batman as he has been fighting crime for a few years now. We would open with the child actor from the Gotham Tales series in Phase 1 returning and see him getting into a fight at school and Alfred taking care of him. We then see Bruce sneak out and he starts fighting criminals like muggers. We would also see from the other events of the Gotham Tales show that the city has become even more crime-ridden than before. The young Bruce is dressed as a vigilante, meets a young Catwoman, who we learn is working for the Penguin at this time. But then Gordon busts him, and she gets away, but Bruce gets in trouble. Alfred says he can't stop Bruce, so he makes him his first suit to keep him safe. It looks like the Robin suit, but red and black with a cape and mask. We know from the events of Batman Year 1, he never actually wears the suit. Alfred asks who he will become, and we see Bruce fighting more criminals as it jumps to him as an adult in his Batman suit. He takes down the guy and says, "I'm Batman." This will be that scene from the end of Batman Year 1. The film will have the main adult Bruce actor going forward. This film will have a lot of villains as it will deal with his family's company as he tries to protect it from people trying to obtain control over it. The main villains in this project will be Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, and Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler. The two of them are competing with Oswald Chesterfield Copperpot, aka the Penguin, who has Dr. Victor Fries, aka Dr. Freeze, working for him. I know in the last video I called him Victor Freeze and his wife Nora Freeze. That was a mistake on my end. Their names in this DCU are Victor Fries and Eleanor Fries, but she does go by Nora. We see Batman now works with Gordon. He would mention his teenage daughter, who was introduced as a baby in the Gotham show. We would then see Batman run into Catwoman, and the two talk about her brother, who she helped but at the loss of a friend, referring to the Gotham Tales show. We learn she still works for the Penguin, who has her brother locked up, who she's trying to save. Batman wants to help, and so the two go after the Penguin, but also have to stop Dr. Freeze. Dr. Freeze would be blue now and lives up to his title, but after the fight he runs away. Batman is able to stop the Penguin, but Catwoman escapes with Catman, her brother, and the two flee Batman. During a meeting, Bruce talks to Harvey Dent for the first time and is shocked by the appearance of his face, which is the result of Oswald from the Gotham Tales show. During the meeting, though, Bruce also sees Edward with him. Bruce knows him as the Riddler, the man who killed his parents in this universe. Two-Face also mentions the Riddler's beneficiary, who will be the Joker. Later that night, Batman then goes after and fights Two-Face and the Riddler. So after a big fight, he defeats the two of them, and he's about to kill the Riddler when the second Joker from the Gotham Tales show, not the one from Batman Year 1, appears and stops Batman. But the Joker then kills the Riddler for no reason and reveals he made the Riddler kill Bruce's parents. This is where Batman then attacks the Joker, saying he won't lock him up this time. But then Harley will appear, also from the Gotham Tales show, and during the fight, she kills Two-Face as well. The two attack Batman and overpower him, but then some random kid throws a trash can at Harley, knocking her down, letting Batman get the upper hand. Batman attacks the two, but the Joker flees, running away from Batman, leaving Harley to get arrested. Batman then talks to the boy that helped him and learns he is homeless after his parents' death. This hits a soft spot with Bruce and he takes him in, learning his name is Dick Grayson. And in a post-credit scene, we will see Dick finding Batman's original suit that Alfred made him, setting him up to become Robin. You can probably tell I'm more of a Batman fan when it comes to DC, and I know this film does a lot, has a lot, brings a bunch of characters from the Gotham show back, and I know we killed off 2 big Batman villains, but this is so we can introduce more since he has so many. I do feel done right, this would be a great story for all these characters, honestly. This will set up Batman and other Batman IPs like Batgirl and Robin that are teased in this, as well as the return of other characters who didn't die during the film. Now, on to the second project for Phase 2, Superman. This one I'm going to go over faster, but if you guys want any deep dives on these projects, let me know which ones. This movie would take place after Supergirl and deals with Superman, now the protector of Earth. He lives in Metropolis with his wife Lois and is juggling work, family, and being a hero all at once. The main antagonist would be Brainiac, as Milton Fine from the Smallville reboot in Phase 1 would return, but has been working on cybernetics. We also learn he's been testing cybernetics with alien technology on Victor Stone, his lab assistant. This will set up Cyborg, but as an antagonist at first due to his trauma. Superman also talks to Wonder Woman, played by the actress from the Smallville show. She is gathering a team trying to reform something like the League of Justice. But then Cyborg attacks the two. After they defeat him, Superman is able to calm him down and Wonder Woman takes him in to go get him help. Later, Lex would also come back from the show as well, looking for Brainiac to help him make a new Lexo suit. But Brainiac refuses and starts attacking Lex. Superman saves Lex and battles Brainiac, who he mortally wounds, but then Brainiac flees. After the battle, when Lex is safe, Superman returns home to Lois. It will then end with Clark telling Lois he has something to tell her, and she says so does she. They decide to tell each other at the same time, and Clark says he is Superman when Lois says she is pregnant. I really think that would be a funny and exciting way to end it. The mid-credit scene would show Lex stole some of Superman's hair and took it back to his lab. The post-credit scene would show Brainiac with some of Superman's blood as he collects samples from the dead body of Zod. This would tease Doomsday's appearance. I really liked this Superman project because it really sees a side of Superman where he's trying to be a hero and the savior while also still trying to start a family with his wife Lois. And I think it'd be really fun to just see that dynamic of him off being a hero while trying to make it to dates and have family discussions and stuff about their rent, bills, whatever. Now, the third project in this phase would be Wonder Woman. The movie would focus on Diana before the events of Smallville as she becomes Wonder Woman. The final act would jump forward and we would see the return of the actress from the Smallville show to play Wonder Woman going forward. In this DCU, the Amazonians are also some of the first metahumans that we see on Earth. We would open with Wonder Woman as a child with her mother during a peace meeting. We learn this is the second meeting, as the first was with the Atlanteans. This peace meeting is with the Wild Beasts, a tribe of metahumans with cat-like traits and powers. Their leader is Sebastian Bellastro. He takes on the name Cheetah after his mother, Priscilla Rich. Here we also meet his cousin, Deborah Domain, who is Diana's age. The tribes are having a festival to celebrate when parademons attack and kill Diana's mother and Sebastian. This also takes place during the events of the League of Justice project. So maybe we could have a Supergirl cameo. We jump forward and the two tribes are at war with each other from other conflicts after the death of their leaders. Deborah is now going by Cheetah, and her and Diane, who is going by Wonder Girl, keep fighting during the war, and Diana's sister, Nubia, becomes queen. The fighting starts to die down when Deborah ends up having a daughter named Barbara Ann Minerva. Barbara ends up killing her parents and part of her tribe, taking on the name Cheetah. After Barbara flees and isn't heard of for years, Diana decides to leave her island and help the outside world as Wonder Woman. We jump forward to Wonder Woman returning from Smallville, played by the older actress now. She learns Barbara has returned and started killing people again. Here, she would also meet Donna Troy, who has become Wonder Girl inspired by Diana. At the end, Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl get into a huge fight with Cheetah, and Wonder Woman wins. The post-credits scene shows her video calling someone when the screen reveals the bat signal. This is definitely a different take on Wonder Woman from what I noticed most fans would do with her stories. I didn't really want to get into the gods of DC at this time or have her be a magic-focused character. I just wanted her to be a warrior woman. I did make the change of having the Amazonians just be metahumans to explain their powers. Also, with Catwoman and Catman being meta, they are actually descendants of the wild beasts that came to America. This project mostly just sets up Wonder Woman going forward, as well as Donna as Wonder Girl. But the post-credit scene also teases the Justice League project. The fourth project of Phase 2 would be the first and only show of this phase, an HBO Max original, Arrows. It would be about Oliver Queen, who has been the Green Arrow for quite a while now, and he's starting to train the new age of Arrows. We would focus on Green Arrow after he has lost his company and has a bounty on his head. But he decides to continue his quest for new Arrow heroes. We would learn Roy Harper is Arsenal, his first pupil of a couple years now. And after reconnecting with his son a year ago, he now trains Connor Hawke as Hawk, who Oliver also believes will become the next Green Arrow. We also see a newcomer, Emiko Queen, as Red Arrow, and Mia Dearden as Speedy, the original alias for Roy, who introduced her to Oliver. It's then revealed that the League of Shadows wants Green Arrow, so they send Komodo, Shadow, Malcolm Merlin, aka Dark Archer, and Carrie Cutter, aka Cupid. Oliver takes his Arrows team to get Naomi Sai and his fiancée Diana Lance, aka Black Canary, to help. Oliver will play a leader role while the show revolves around mostly Connor, Emiko, and Roy. Mia is also given her time to shine as the group grows closer. They continue to fight off Malcolm Merlin, who eventually just leaves, but not before letting Oliver know he is very skilled and so are his students. The group then faces against Shadow and Komodo. They do defeat them, but Emiko kills Komodo, leading to her leaving the team. Connor goes after her and the two start their own adventures. Meanwhile, Black Canary and Mia defeat Cupid with the help from Oliver. After a few months since the battle, Oliver continues to train Roy and Mia, but the rest of the Arrow family has gone on their own paths, but continue to stay in touch. I liked making a project for Green Arrow. He isn't one of my favorite characters, but I feel with the Green Arrow family, there is a lot of heartwarming stories to be told about family and how you get to choose that based on your own life choices. Also, with the great success of the show Arrow, it's hard to make a project that could top that in my opinion, but I hope this one came close. Next up would be the final theatrical film in this phase, King of Atlantis. It would open with a young Arthur Curry growing up on Earth, but most people think he's just a random metahuman since he could breathe underwater and talks to aquatic life. We then see the Royal Guard of Atlantis and other high ranks come to his house as a teen and tell him his mother is sick. He learns at this time that she is the queen and discovers his heritage. He goes to visit her a few times, but after just knowing her a few weeks, she dies. He learned about his Atlantean name Orin, and during this time he also meets his half-brother Orm Marius. After his mother's death, his brother shows that he is upset since he wasn't there with them growing up, instead grew up on the surface. Orm also has a stepsister Tula, who comforts him, but doesn't show any hate towards Arthur. Arthur also meets a young Mira who just moved from another ocean city to Atlantis. He goes back to the surface one last time to say goodbye to his father, since he is next in line for the throne and they want him to train and be ready. Arthur does promise to visit once a year though while he is living in Atlantis. We then jump to the future where Arthur is king of Atlantis and took on the name Aquaman from the humans of the surface calling him that. Orm has also taken on the title Ocean Master and is commander of the army, but still gives his brother a hard time. Tula tries to get the brothers to warm up to each other. We also learn Arthur and Mira are getting ready for their wedding today. We meet Garth, aka Aqualad, and Dolphin, an extraterrestrial aquatic humanoid alien. The two of them are seen dating as well. After the wedding ceremony, King Shark attacks alongside Black Manta. Atlantis and King Arthur are able to defend themselves, but this leads into a war with the two ocean nations. Aquaman gathers Mira, Ocean Master, Tula, Aqualad, Dolphin, and his army to battle King Shark, Black Manta, with King Shark's army and Manta's group as well. We get a big war, and during, Ocean Master makes amends with his brother, and Tula is happy to see this before she is killed by King Shark. Aquaman, Mira, and Aqualad fight King Shark, while Ocean Master and Dolphin take on Black Manta, who they take down and Dolphin arrests. The other team also takes down King Shark, but Ocean Master murders him instead of taking him in, much to Arthur's disapproval. But Arthur does understand, since his brother is in a state of grief. A mid-credit scene would show with the war now being over. We jump forward to Aquaman waking up in his bed with Mira, who is visibly pregnant. He leaves and passes Aqualad and Dolphin, who are training. He then meets up with Ocean Master, who comments he still doesn't trust humans. Arthur says they can trust her since this one is royalty too. The two swim up to the surface and meet Diana as Wonder Woman. A post-credit scene would show King Shark's son becoming the new King Shark. I had a lot of fun with this and wanted to do something different but similar to what we got with the actual Aquaman movie in the DCU. This sets up Atlantis as a whole mostly and sets up other members of the kingdom like Aqualad and Aquaman's unborn child, while also setting up the Justice League project. Plus, we get the King Shark we all love set up for future appearances. Now, the final project of Phase 2. This will be the League of Justice. Now, I know most people by this time already have a Justice League project, but I really wanted to wait for that big event, so it really stands out. But I still wanted to do some kind of team-up movie by this time, besides the Superman and Wonder Woman, or Supergirl and Lanterns team-up we have gotten. This film will act as a prequel, though, to Phase 1, one of the reasons I wanted it to be an HBO Max original and not a theatrical film. It would open with Supergirl, who has just started being a hero and has become successful doing so. She would then be approached by Martian Manhunter, who warns her of an invasion on the planet. He has brought with him Hawkman and Hawkgirl to help defend it and wants her to help. Supergirl agrees and tries to recruit heroes of Earth. She goes to Queen Hippolyta, and she refuses, saying she is starting an era of peace, not war. But they are then attacked by an army of parademons that kill Hippolyta. This is also from the Wonder Woman movie opening. After this, we then jump to Sarah Essen in Gotham being asked by Kathy Kane if she has had any updates on finding out who Batwoman is. But clearly upset, Sarah says no. We then jump to Batwoman fighting crime when Sarah stops her and makes her remove her mask, finding out it's her girlfriend. Sarah gets upset and is about to be attacked when Kathy saves her. More thugs surround the couple, and this is when Supergirl shows up and helps Batwoman fight them off. After this, they introduce each other, and Supergirl asks Batwoman to join the League of Justice. She agrees, and they prepare for the final battle. Steppenwolf shows up with an army of parademons, but stops when he sees the League of Justice and decides to fight alongside his army. We have a big battle, and the League of Justice is starting to lose when Gay Garrick, a speedster going by Flash, appears and tips the scales, so the League of Justice is able to defeat the army and Steppenwolf, sending him back to his home planet through a boom tube on his ship. We see the team save the world, and the film ends. But in a mid-credit scene, we see Batwoman upset talking to Supergirl about how the team didn't help her during the clown riots in Gotham. Supergirl says that she was busy saving her own city, and Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and Martian Manhunter have left Earth. Supergirl also hasn't heard from Jay either since the battle. Batwoman says then the team is disbanded and leaves. In a post-credit scene, we see Steppenwolf back on his planet in a throne room where he pleads for his life, saying that the heroes are stronger than they look. But he is then beheaded by a silhouette of Darkseid. Now, this was another one of those last-minute projects I made since I kind of set up the League of Justice in Phase 1. I wanted some kind of payoff for it. This isn't supposed to be anything big, just a fun crossover event, but it does set up Darkseid for when he will appear to fight the Justice League. So that's all I have for Phase 2. I really liked this phase, and like I said last video, this phase is much more of what most people's Phase 1 would be. This is the phase that really sets the stories going forward, now that a new DCU has been established for these stories. Phase 3 is honestly one of my favorites, as it's the finale of the first 3 phases with a big Justice League event. Phase 4 is where I really got to get creative with new projects, as it sets up an even bigger event. But I'm still working on Phase 3 and 4, so some things will probably change before any kind of video is made. I don't know if I'll make a Phase 3 video yet, but if these first 2 videos do good, then maybe I will. And let me know if you guys want to see it. Speaking of my first video, at the time of writing this, it had over a little more than 300 views and around 7 likes. I just checked it before recording, and it's already almost at 700 views now, with more likes, and I even got some subscribers, so I really appreciate it, because I honestly wasn't expecting more than like 100 views for my first video, especially within just a week. My next 2 videos will be deep dives into the first 2 projects from Phase 1, since I already have these done and want to make those videos. Any other projects you guys want to see deep dives for, though, let me know and I'll definitely make those. I also have another video in planning that I think will be really fun, and if you guys like these, then you'll like what I'm cooking up. So thank you so much for watching, and please feel free to comment on this video as well. What parts did you like the most, and what would you have done, or any projects here would you like to see made in the future for a real DCU that they're doing? Please feel free to leave a like or subscribe, since it really helps out the channel, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye.